What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm actually going to be talking to you guys about what happened in the 2.5 patch developer live stream, if you want to call it a Genshin update, kind of whatever you want to call it. They basically had a live stream detailing all of the new events and the new things coming to Genshin in 2.5, including talking about Yaimiko's kit and other things. So I'm going to break this down for you really quickly in case you don't have time to watch the whole thing. But before we talk about 2.5, I want to also show you guys the Ayato drip marketing that dropped this morning super early. This is what Ayato looks like, and as you can see on the image, he does have a hydro sword, or it looks like hydro infused, or maybe he created it out of water. Either way, this looks really cool. He could have hydro infusion on his sword, which would be really neat. He could just be a regular sword user, or he could actually have a stance change, and this would be interesting because I know MiHoYo has talked about wanting to have stance changes in their game a lot more. They really like the mechanic of stance changes, so it'll be really neat to find out what he's actually using and get to see gameplay for him eventually. Obviously, we're gonna have to wait like 6 weeks or so, but anyways, I just thought I'd share that with you guys. It is super exciting that we finally get to see what he looks like, so now he can be trending the 27th time on Twitter. And anyways, let's get into the 2.5 stuff. First things first, we are getting Yaimiko. You guys already know this, but they talked about what is in Yaimiko's actual kit. So the first thing that they talked about is her elemental skill. Basically what it is 3 turrets that you can put down simultaneously. Essentially, they're like totems, and they're gonna deal electro damage over time to enemies in the area. Now, I'm assuming that these can cover a large area if you wanted to, but we'll have to see how her kit plays out. I don't want to give you guys any wrong information. I'm just saying what we know based off of the live stream. So her elemental skill does have turrets. She also has a really good elemental burst scaling as told by the people in the live stream. So she can also be used as an electro nuke. We'll have to see what that means for her, whether or not her scaling is actually super good or if it's like Sara level. But either way, it is super exciting, and her attack animations are really good. I really like them. And fun fact, I'm going to be rolling for her at twitch.tv/Braxophone when she goes live and testing her on streams. So go follow that if you want to see some Yai gameplay and testing, and if you want to see future Genshin dev streams. Outside of that, I'm going to talk about Yai more in a separate video when we have some numbers on her. The next piece of news that is really important is that we're getting a Ryden and Kokomi rerun. Now, they actually said that these are going to be in the second half, so Yai will be first, and then it's going to be Ryden Kokomi rerun. Now, this is most likely because of the story, because they did mention that it is based on story relevance now, and overall, as new characters are introduced, they still want to give old characters decent runtime, so that's why we're seeing this rerun. But anyways, now if you're stuck between the 3 characters, I can tell you right now off the bat that Ryden is a super solid pickup. We can't say anything about Yai yet, and we can say that Kokomi is like fine as a unit, but Ryden is just generally very good and definitely worth picking up over Kokomi in my opinion. Now, of course, that depends on your account. There's lots of circumstances where people might not need Ryden as much as they need Kokomi, whatever. All I'm saying is that Ryden is a solid unit, and so you should be excited if you don't have her yet and you plan on pulling for her. Of course, I will be making the who to pull video eventually though. Next up, they talked about story quests featuring Ryden and Yai. This is going to be Ryden's part 2 quest, so you're going to have to do that before you can actually access Yai's quest line. Now, both of these quests, they stated, are based around the lore of Inazuma, and they will teach you about Inazuma's beginnings way back when. So you're going to learn a ton about Inazuma through the exposition writing of these quests, and if you're interested in lore, if you're a lore junkie, these are probably things you'll want to do. I'm not sure if you need them 100% for the story, but I can tell you that it will be good. So there's 2 story quests coming, and those are going to be right at the start of 2.5. Okay, now this is insane. We're also getting a new weekly boss, and this weekly boss is insane. It's like hyper powered charged Ryden using Honkai cells or something. I mean, that's speculation. I don't actually know that, but this fight looks insane. We don't really know much about it other than it looks incredibly dangerous, and Ryden looks extremely menacing. Outside of that, it's probably just going to be one of those things where it's like you have a certain mechanic that you need to figure out. Once you figure it out, it's farmable. But we do know that Yai is definitely going to take those materials, because why would they release a new boss in a new patch with new characters if they didn't need that material for Ascension? So you can assume that Yai is going to take boss materials from her as far as leveling up her talents into the higher areas. This boss is going to be locked behind the story quest, so you will need to do the story quest to actually access it. But outside of that, you can look forward to some good stuff. Another new thing in 2.5 is going to be the introduction of Husk enemies. So one of the story quests coming in 2.5 is going to send us back to Enkanomiya, and we're going to deal with a bunch of new enemies. These, like I said, these are called Husk enemies, and they all have unique abilities that are going to be, well, kind of irritating to be honest. But for those of you guys who like the Dark Souls aesthetic, these will be really fun to fight. One example of an enemy's abilities that they gave us, that if you have a shield up when the one with the big flag that's like red is attacking you, forgive me, I can't remember its name. If you have a shield up, it'll actually generate its its own shield, and as a result, it makes using a shield against these things incredibly annoying. It's just one Zhongli nerf after another. I don't know why they're doing it. I mean, I know why they're doing it, but it's annoying. But there are going to be other Husk enemies that have different abilities as well, and these are going to be new, probably in Abyss later on as well. So you have that to look forward to if you're just looking for new enemy types to deal with. On top of that, we have a ton of events coming up in 2.5. These are all going to be really awesome. The first one that I want to talk about is a new exploration event in Enkonomiya that's going to have a free-to-play weapon as a reward. It's going to be a free-to-play catalyst, and it looks like it's styled after Kokomi, but to be honest, Thrilling Tales is already super solid, so I'm hoping that it works with Yai as well, so that way free-to-play players will have access to really good stuff for Yai off the bat. That would be awesome. Based on the live stream, they said that the Enkonomiya area isn't actually in Enkonomiya, but it's like based around that, and you're gonna have to go explore and take care of some enemies. I'm not sure exactly what the plan is, but it's an exploration event, and it's the first one of its kind, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. There are 3 other events though. There is one event where you're gonna be able to create your own dungeon, kind of like Super Mario Maker, or like, have you ever played like a Tony Hawk game? I guess you can design your own dungeon using assets in the game, and then you can actually go to other travelers' dungeons and try to beat them. And in the event, I'm assuming you're gonna have to clear a certain amount of dungeons or get people to like come visit yours. I'm not exactly sure how it's gonna work, but it's looking very, very cool. Our first real sandbox event, because we do have housing, but like an event itself, this is gonna be completely new, and I'm very, very excited. As far as I know, there's no enemies in it, so we can't just use like punching bags and stuff. I might be wrong on that, but they didn't showcase any footage with enemies, so, but that event looks really good. There's also gonna be an event where you make non-alcoholic beverages based off of recipes and things like that, and Diana would be very, very proud. You're gonna make these drinks for other characters, like for example, they talk about making drinks for Kaya specifically at one point, and this is gonna be a really fun event, a fun way to like kind of mix things up, since we haven't really had an event that revolves around that yet. So it'll be a cool new event. I don't think it's gonna be as good as the first 2, but it'll be good. Now, the 4th real event that's gonna be happening is going to be the Hakanen Ike event. I think I probably butchered that, so apologies if I did, but this is the event that actually happened a long time ago in Inazuma, where you actually pick a bunch of pairs of characters and you rotate through them and try to get a high score by defeating a bunch of enemies in a row, utilizing specific buffs. I actually really like this event because you get the trial characters, you get to test new synergies, and it's just like it's a fun test of skill in a different way from normal Genshin combat. So, and then on top of that, we're also going to have another overflow event. I did say 4 events, but this one is also kind of like a small couple day long thing. You're going to be able to get extra talent books from domains, and that's going to be really good. Now, on top of the 2.5 stuff, they actually introduced or drip marketed some 2.6 stuff as well. They are actually talking about the CHASM. So the CHASM is confirmed to be coming in 2.6, or at least a portion of the CHASM. We actually don't know if it's going to be the whole thing, because obviously the CHASM is going to be on our way to Sumeru, and I don't think we're going to Sumeru quite yet. I think we have a little bit more time. But anyways, check out this Pokemon crossover with the Ruined Serpent. It looks like Onyx. It's actually terrifying, and apparently this thing is going to be hunting you while you're in the CHASM, so that is something to be aware of. The developers actually said the CHASM is already in the game, you just can't access it, so that's kind of cool as well. I don't know if any of you guys have tried to get out of the map and find it. I haven't found it, but yeah, I just thought I'd mention that. It's pretty neat. But basically, it's kind of like this ravine looking thing, and you're gonna have a lot of exploration to do, a lot of quests to do in there. It's gonna be a good time. This also means that we're just one step closer to Sumeru, which I'm super excited about because, you know, to be honest, I'm ready to get out of Inazuma. I don't feel like they can make enemies more annoying than these. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I don't want to jinx it, but fingers crossed there's no more enemies as annoying as the ones in Inazuma, because the thing is, they're not even hard to outplay. They're just frustrating, and they keep nerfing Zhongli, as you can tell with the Husk enemies. So yeah, it's a pain. But anyways, guys, that is going to be it for the 2.5 live stream. There may have been 1 or 2 things that I missed, so if I did, let me know in the comments and I will make sure to heart it or pin it. The reason I might have missed it is actually just because I can't actually rewatch the dev stream because they don't have VOD saved on Twitch. But anyways, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will catch you next time.